Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So this is part 2 of my Get to Know Me Better tag. There is 25 more questions that is in this tag because there was 50 questions. So if you haven't checked out my first part, then click on the link down in the description bar. So without further ado, let's get started. So first question, which is number 26. What are you doing today to help you achieve these goals? A lot of the goals I set previously all has to do with money. And what I'm doing with that is I'm just saving up all my money, really. Number 27, what is your biggest accomplishment? My biggest accomplishment, I think, at this moment is graduating uni. 3 long years of uni, and they were like the best 3 years because I made so many friends and so many connections and stuff like that. Also, you know, stepping out of my comfort zone and doing YouTube is also a big accomplishment for me. So there's been a lot of little things that I've done that has ended up being big accomplishments for me personally. So number 28, what is an ideal date for you? An ideal date for me would be somewhere warm, somewhere with food. So a restaurant, I think, would be the best date for me. And also because it's a public setting where I like to gauge my date, my victim, to see whether they are compatible with me or if they are those arrogant guys and stuff. Because when you're at restaurants and stuff, there's really there's heaps of scenarios there in the restaurant where you can engage and see who the person is, especially if it's like one-on-one talking with you and learning about them, and also seeing their interaction with the people in that environment, just to kind of gauge how people's humility and their personality is like. I think that's the best ideal date for me personally, because I love also food. They need to love food. Yeah, it's just a great place to really open up conversation as well. Question 29, what is something you look for in a partner? Obviously, when I first meet someone or talk to someone, you can't really engage someone's personality without seeing their looks first. And I know it's shallow, but if you say that you don't look at people's physical attributes first, then you're totally lying. Like, you always end up seeing people's physical attributes before you actually learn their personality. But for what I look for in a partner, or the thing that I look for in the partner is their acceptance. Of course, personality, looks and stuff like that, but their acceptance and also their perception of the world and their openness to change. Because I'm not very your typical gay man, you know? Like, I don't look like a guy most of the time, and because I'm non-binary. If no one realizes that, I'm non-binary, so that means I don't conform to any gender. That acceptance has to be something that they really need to understand, because a lot of people say they understand. This is kind of for like people who look at me and they're like, oh, you're trans, and then I'm like, no, I'm not trans, and they're okay, then you're femme. And then when it comes to femboys, they think that every day you wake up with like makeup on and in a dress and like heels and stuff, and then that's you every day. But that's not what non-binary is. I don't conform to any gender, so there are days where I feel like this. Of course, I can't hide the long hair, but like I feel like I don't want to shave. Like, I don't need to put on makeup and really like dress up myself to make me feel good, because I already feel good either way. Like, I can look like a total slob, like a man with like facial hair and in like track pants and stuff like that, and I'm totally like fine with it. And then there are times where like I wake up one morning and I want to dress up, I want to put makeup on, I want to wear really nice clothes, nice girly clothes, obviously. Sometimes just guy clothes mixed in with like makeup, so I like to like blur that line. And that's who I am. That's what non-binary is to me in terms of my gender. A lot of people, when they first meet me, especially guys, girls, they are more discreet in like showing their discomfort about it and stuff, because they like don't understand. But once I explain it and stuff, then they are very accepting. But with a lot of guys, especially guys who aren't exposed to this different world, these guys don't go through the situation that I go through. And then when they ask me all that stuff, I'm just like, why are you so demanding? Like, this is my body, this is my face. I'll dress up or do whatever that I want, not what you want. Like, they don't understand that non-binary means non-conforming to gender. They think it's like when you say you're non-binary or when you explain what non-binary is, they automatically just assume or think that you're more feminine because you look more feminine. So they always, like, people always, especially guys who wants to meet up and stuff like that, are always like, oh, could you put on a dress for me? Could you like put makeup on? Could you shave? And I'm like, no. Like, if I want to shave, I'll shave. Like, you take me with my hairy face Because I take you with your hair face. I don't tell you to shave off your stubble. Like, fuck off. Anyways, that's a long rant. But next question. My role model is one of my best friends. Her name is Jean. And I think she's very wise. She's older than me. And she's very wise as a person and very independent in her ways. And just the way she holds herself and really like understands the world and is open to change and stuff really inspires me. Question 31. Which of your parents are you more like? I think I'm kind of an equal balance of both my parents. I know I look more like my mum, but in terms of like my personality and who I am, I think I'm very equal with both my parents. Question 32. Which of your parents are you closest to? So I'm closest to, at this moment, my father. And in a way, he's also my role model because he is one of those people who was brought up in the old traditional times and, you know, has that very traditional mindset and values. But the one thing that I value the most about him, and also is the most important thing to me, is he's very open-minded. He's one of those traditional parents who are very willing to learn about the new society that is popping up in this world, learning about new things, and also educate himself on stuff that means the world to you. So when I came out and stuff like that, of course he didn't understand, but he was open to accepting it and also learning about it. And that was always something that I would, like, you know, hold dear to my heart. It's strange that usually it's like, you know, fathers aren't open like that, but my father is, because that's just, you know, who he is, because he loves us so much. He just wants to be in our lives and want us to be happy, so that's why he's the best and he's one of my role models. Question 33. What is the last book you read? The last book that I read was a book that I reread, and it's always here. This one. This is by Kate McCaffrey, and it's called Destroying Avalon. It's an Australian book written by an Australian author. This book really resounded with me, although it's a young adult book, and I read this back in primary school where I was definitely not a young adult. This book resounded with me because it's the first book that I ever read that talked about the modern generation. So this book has this page here, which is in the first like 3 pages. It's called Translator, and Translator is written with a 8 for later. And the amazing thing about this is it's like a legend, like a key in a book. And what it has is all these MSN text type. Like, you know, back in the day where you write like got to go as GTG and stuff like that. This was back then, even before MSN text even came out. This was like a thing that happened because like here it says ASLP, age, and then it tells you age, sex, location, picture. Yeah, it's just like these words that we use back when MSN became like a really big thing, like text type and you know, like chatting types for like online and stuff. And this book became so revolutionary because it was so modern for its time. But this book is about a girl named Avalon who moves from country hick town, somewhere out in like rural, regional areas. He moved to the city to study at this like prestigious school in the city, and she ends up becoming a target of cyberbullying. So if you want a book to read that really stimulates the brain and also psychologically tests you, then definitely check out Destroying Avalon by Kate McCaffrey. It's a very good book to read, and let's just say I cried every time I read this book, which is a lot. I reread this book like, I would say like once every month, once every 2 months. Because I love this book so much, sometimes I just skip to like my best part, like the best part, which is like the 1/3 of the end of the book. And I just reread it because it's so good, and I cry my eyes out every time I read it. So yeah, that's my favorite book. And also, because I'm talking about my favorite book, I want to talk about my favorite book series. You can't really see it, but it's all the way at the top. And it's this series here by Melissa De La Cruz. It's Blue Bloods, and yes, it's a vampire series, but it's a modern vampire series where everyone is like popular socialites in New York City, and the way they become vampires is so amazing, and also like it's just done so tastefully and so beautifully. Everything is crafted like an architecture, and the characters as well are so defined that you just always want to know what happens in the next book. Like, you're always so invested in the characters, and that's what makes it so believable. And also the covers are done so well. They are so beautiful. Question 34. What is your favorite fairy tale? My favorite fairy tale growing up was The Little Mermaid. That was for sure. But it was the Brother Grimm one When they did the movie with the, you know, blonde hair mermaid and then she dyed it and turned to foams. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Number 35, what is your favorite quote? My favorite quote is not really inspirational at all, but my favorite quote is, why change a habit of a lifetime? Question 36, favorite subject in school? In high school? Primary school? University? I'll go down the list, but university was a lot of the film courses they did, because they're very practical. You get to go out and make your own movies and stuff like that. They're very strenuous and very long working hours, but they were one of my favorites, as well as the theatre courses that I did as well. They were my favorites. My favorite subject in high school was geography, and then I think art was my favorite in primary school. Number 40? No, number 39. Do you have a best friend? If so, then who? So I actually have two best friends. And they are the two people I'm closest to most. One of them I see pretty much like 2-3 times a week. Of course, I talked about her before, but that's Jean. Like the bestest person in the world to me, because she grounds me and you know, I learn so much from her and she inspires me so much. And then the other best friend I known since high school, her name's Ashley, and we don't really get to see each other as much because she does her own thing and I do my own thing, and then we never like take initiative to like contact each other. But when we do end up catching up, it's like instant connection. We can just fall back into the same friendship and in the same way we like are with each other. So that's like a really big friendship that I will always hold on to. Number 40, who has left the most impact on your life? That would be my dad. Number 41, what app do you use most? The app that I use most is actually Safari. I use the internet a lot because I like to randomly search up stuff and then end up in a whirlwind of Wikipedia articles or even like you know, scientific journals and stuff like that, just learning about different things. And also I read fan fiction a lot. I still love Steric. And a social media app that I use a lot on my phone is definitely either Snapchat or Instagram. 42. What piece of technology can you not live without? So the piece of technology that I can't live without is definitely my laptop. I can definitely live without my phone. I've done it before. It's not really that hard once you kind of like detox yourself for 3 months without your phone. But without my computer, I kind of feel like I have nothing to do. Like, perhaps if I want to research up a book, or I want to like, you know, watch something on YouTube and stuff like that, and if I don't have my phone, then fine. But when I'm at home, I need either my laptop or my iMac. Question 43, what countries have you visited? So I visited Italy, Switzerland, and I've visited Vietnam. I would like to visit, this is question 44, but I would like to visit Japan, South Korea, what else? France, England, America for sure, Canada. There's a lot of places in the world that I would like to go. What is your favorite animal? I love wolves and polar bears and tigers. So any like big fluffy animal that could potentially kill you. Those are my favorite animals. Question 46, best memory you ever have? I think the best memory I ever have, to be honest, the best memory I ever have was meeting Jean. Well, not meeting Jean, but becoming really good friends with her. We did that theatre course together, we used to stay there up until like midnight or even past midnight, and she would be so kind to offer to drive me home. That was one of the best memories I have. Going to see Mariah Carey was also a really good memory too. Yeah, I'm kind of like a sap like that. I don't really have like really like amazing crazy stories to tell. Well, actually I do, but like not in terms of like best memories you ever have kind of thing. So yeah, most embarrassing memory. So I don't have embarrassing memories or moments because I don't actually get embarrassed. Well, I get embarrassed in like the moment. So I'll be like freaking embarrassed for the rest of my life kind of thing. But then like it's not an embarrassing moment where I'm just like mortified to talk about it. Like I would talk about any embarrassing moments in the world if there's like time for it, you know what I mean? But like I don't really have a specific embarrassing moment that really defined like me. I don't know. Tricky question. Number 48. How many relationships have you been in? Let me count. I'm kidding. I haven't been in any relationships. But like I'm just focusing on me and my career and my health as well. So I don't really have time to be in a relationship. And there's a lot of in a relationship there's a lot that they demand of you, and of course vice versa as well. And I just don't have the capacity yet. Like I don't have the time, the energy, and the strength to be in a relationship at this moment. 49. If you can give your younger self any advice, what would it be? So what I would tell my younger self is don't give up. Failure is just a bump in the road, and there's many paths to choose from. And if you just keep climbing to the top, you can make it and you can reap the rewards of your accomplishments. 50. One thing you know now that you wish you knew, which you wish you had known as a kid, that people in the world weren't going to be as accepting of you because of their traditional beliefs or the way they're raised, or just their closed-minded homophobia. I didn't have anyone to guide me or really mentor me in that way. I really had to swim through shark-infested water to find my paradise island, and that was my confidence. And that's why a lot of people can be like, oh Henry, you're so confident in who you are, and Henry, you're like so brave, and like you have so much strength and stuff. And I was like, that's because I put so much value in myself and what I believe in, so I never lose mind of that. If I had known as a kid that it would be this hard in terms of like people trying to take you down with negative words and trying to like tell you to kill yourself and stuff, my identity does not need to be validated by society to be able to be part of society. Now I myself, and I don't need people to be like, it's okay to be gay and stuff. Like I know I'm okay to be gay. Like sit down. I know that being who I am is normal, but I just wish I had known that as a kid, and I didn't have to hide it, or didn't feel like I was ready for it, or feel like I had to push myself into a mold to feel self-loved and feel worthy of love. I wish I didn't need all those reassurance to feel like I belong. So as a kid, I wish I didn't feel that pressure of having to conform myself into what people expect of me, so they can love me. So this is the end of this 2-part video of the Get to Know Me Better tag. So if you did enjoy this video, then please leave me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I just needed this week off because I got news that I'll be going in for surgery for my scoliosis. So I'm gonna be out for about a week or two. I'll keep you updated, mostly on my Instagram or my Snapchat, I think, and my Twitter. So yeah, if you want to follow them down below for like updates and stuff, just follow me at henryddnguyen, and they're all linked down below as well. So I hope you all have a great day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!